Yo, Melly.
What's up?
Hey, so last time, episode 13, I forgot to say this. I want to give a special shout out to my man Darrance Tezino of AV JV LLC for putting this setup for us together.
Yes.
Shout out to UD. And also, I forgot this in recording for the kid, well, Lisa,
Yeah.
or whatever. To Miss Britteny Churchwell, thank you for letting us use your spot at the Library Coffee and Wine House.
Yes.
The Library Coffee and Wine House off Scott Street.
Cafe and Wine House.
I think it's coffee.
It's cafe.
I think it's coffee.
Really?
Because she had a picture of coffee and Wine House on the side.
Okay.
So to the Library Coffee and Wine House, appreciate you letting us use your establishment. Hey, the episode is about to start in 3, 2.
Yo, it feel like 95. S.H.A.P.E on my body. Biggie, jigger, puffy, all that ballin' is a hobby.
Welcome back to Visionary Movements LLC presents the podcast, Who Cares? My name is John Ross, and to my immediate left, we got Takara Taylor in the building.
All right, y'all.
Across from her to my right, we have Brother Deloyd in the building, and we are live in the S.H.A.P.E Community Center. What's going on, y'all? T, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited about this interview.
Oh, yeah? I know you've been waiting on it. It was actually Houston, Texas. Let me start the show off by saying that you can see this episode Monday afternoon. What time is best to drive to?
9 to 11 or, 3 to 5.
Okay. Sometime Monday.
7 to 9.
7 to 9.
Yeah.
Episode 14, you can catch this episode 14 live from the website, www.visionarymovements.com. You can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at johnjack_ and VM_LLC. Takara tags.
Yeah, I don't have any right now, so we good. We good. I'll get on social media eventually.
Okay.
The way I
Okay.
need to.
So it's premiere day for me, T.
Yeah.
And so later on today, by the way, today is July the 26th, 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Later on today, we'll be at the movie theater showcasing the second film, the premiere. Brother, we're here live in the S.H.A.P.E Community Center, and Brother Deloyd, it's custom from Visionary Movements LLC that we give a feature, a T-shirt, and I want to present you with this T-shirt. We went on a college tour a couple of weeks ago to PV and TSU, and this is the color T-shirt for PV, Third Ward, Texas. Shout out to Third Ward, Texas.
No. You're making a mistake. That's the color for
TSU.
TSU.
Oh,
don't play.
Okay.
Gray
bad.
and maroon, all right?
My bad, T.
TSU
These are
Tigers.
the TSU Tigers
Yes.
colors. And so I present this to you, sir. Thank you for letting us stay.
PV in here. I think that maroon is like a taste of
A little purple. It could be a little
no.
purple.
Oh, no, that's all TSU. That's
Wouldn't be a
all.
mistake. My son did go to Prairie View for a while.
Okay.
And then TSU to get his grade point back up when he messed up.
Okay, see? TSU was that safety net.
So what's going on, y'all?
God is good.
All the time?
And then some, God is good.
All the time.
That's right.
All the time.
So we making it happen, y'all. And it's a collective effort, and that's what makes it so wonderful. There's no individuality in this. We don't ride on the Western horse.
Right.
We ride on the collective horse.
I
Yeah.
know that's right.
That horse is a racehorse.
Yeah.
And a
Yeah.
thoroughbred, in fact, So that's what we're doing at S.H.A.P.E Community Center, and I'm honored to be here and to be able to communicate. I don't do very many interviews, and in fact, very limited.
Okay.
But because of this sister right here, Sister T, I had to, especially since her son is part of our program at S.H.A.P.E, I couldn't say no, but I don't worry too much about it because I make sure my head stays the same size.
Okay.
A lot of times we do interviews and we do what we do, and our head expands and we think that we're all that. But fortunately, I've been blessed to recognize that I'm part of a team, a part of a collective.
Okay.
And that's what makes us roll.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So for our viewers, can you tell us what is S.H.A.P.E? I know what S.H.A.P.E is,
Yeah.
but
And even some things, Tia, that you may not be aware of. So you'll know even more after this.
Okay.
Okay, no
I'm
doubt,
ready.
no doubt.
All,
Round of applause for that one.
Yes.
Well, let me just share this with you. S.H.A.P.E Center is a family center.
Mm-hmm.
Family strengthening and empowerment. So everything we do at S.H.A.P.E has to include strengthening the family. It has to be a part of strengthening the family, an ingredient in strengthening the family, socially, culturally, economically, politically, spiritually, emotionally. All that's part and parcel of what S.H.A.P.E contributes to. But just to be clear, S.H.A.P.E was birthed from the Black Liberation Movement.
Mm-hmm.
So S.H.A.P.E didn't just come through some osmotic factor, you know.
Right.
S.H.A.P.E came through the African Liberation Movement, the Black Liberation Movement. We recognized that we could not win, we could not succeed in our movement toward liberation unless our families were strong.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we say strong family, strong nation.
Right.
So everything that we did in the 60s contributed. Every program, every concept, everything that we moved had to include an ingredient that could help strengthen the family. So S.H.A.P.E Center was born out of the TSU rebellion when the police invaded Texas Southern University May 17, 1967. The Holmes Road dump demonstration when we tried to close that dump down, that landfill in Holmes Road, Sunnyside area, when they put a landfill in the black community where a child drowned out there. And we protested and demonstrated until that dump closed down. TSU, they was trying to put that was a street down Wheeler, ran through TSU. Students couldn't even cross the street going to class because they had to match that little button on that pole that was very seldom working and for the light to change to red. And it didn't work. So the students said, the hell with this, you know, we're not going to kill ourselves going to class. We need to do something. So the students on that campus at that time put a trash can in the middle of Wheeler, put wood in it, set the wood on fire.
Wow.
Not to hurt anybody.
Yeah.
Just to obstruct the traffic.
Right.
I guess they said, well, hell, nobody going to save us but us.
Right.
So self-determination kicked in. So they put that up in the bottom line. What ended up happening, the police invaded that campus. From Wheeler and T. Webster all the way to past Jefferson Stadium at that time. And they invaded the campus. You had TSU, you had Sheriff's Department, the Police Department, all these different law enforcement agencies were lined up from T. Webster and Wheeler all the way past in double file, triple file, whatever file they were in. And they invaded that campus, shot up the dormitory, ended up shooting one of their own officers.
Wow.
From a ricochet bullet from that gun. Tore up the dormitory. That's right. And ended up charging 5 of the leaders on that campus with inciting a riot and murder of a police officer. And they went to trial, Victoria, Texas. Bottom line, that ended up with those students who were activists on that campus at that time being, as a note, hung jury. And they were released. They went back to TSU and did what they had to do. But they won that victory.
Good.
Holmes Road dump, there's no landfill in Holmes Road now because the students won that victory.
Wow.
You know, so all that was a climate in the early days when S.H.A.P.E was conceived. And then, of course, you had the group. We had Jose Campos Torres, a Latino brother that was handcuffed and body thrown in Buffalo Bayou. A veteran, served his, thought to be his country. Came back and got picked up by the police, and they handcuffed him and threw his body in Buffalo Bayou.
Wow.
And to this very day, officers never were held accountable. HPD. So that was the climate. Then, of course, you had other things that happened with Leotis Johnson, the Malcolm X of 3rd Ward, got arrested, one marijuana cigarette, given 30 years in prison.
Oh, wow.
And ended up getting released, but after spending that a length of time in prison, they didn't break him, but they destroyed him in prison.
Right.
So he was of very little worth, value when he got out.
Right.
But he was still our hero. But that was part of it, the climate at TSU, in Houston at that time. Then we had other things that happened in Houston leading up to the birth of S.H.A.P.E. But all this happening, with Byron Gillum being killed on Scott Street by a Houston police officer, from Ida Delaney being murdered, shot 6 or 7 times, delivering newspapers late one night. All that climate existed. And from that, we realized that we could not win this battle by just going and protesting, raising hell, and going back home looking at ourselves on television.
Right, right.
We knew that we had to develop something that was institutional. So S.H.A.P.E Center was that institutional body, force, that help to strengthen families.
Right.
Because you can go and protest, but what you going to do after you protest?
Right.
Go back home and look at yourself on TV?
Right.
Or go back to S.H.A.P.E and organize, mobilize, and help to get your children, the families ready to take on, move to the next level.
Right.
And that's what we did. We started the S.H.A.P.E Community Center, y'all. I mean, we started this center with a free breakfast program being our very first program at 3802 Live Oak, right across the street from where we are now.
Right.
On the corner. And we had a free breakfast program. The children would come and we'd walk them to school after they ate breakfast. And I mean, it was a wonderful experience. This is the beginning of S.H.A.P.E. We had all kind of things going on. The breakfast program, Black History class, art class, everything happening. Parenting groups. And subsequent to that, we evolved, we grew, and we said, we're going to need a little bit more than that. The parents have to come to meetings.
Yeah.
You can't work with your child unless you contribute to what goes on in that child's home.
Right.
You know, because if you teach a child the right way at S.H.A.P.E, they go home and learn the wrong way at home. You're not moving anywhere.
Right.
So we had a parenting meeting every week, 1 hour parenting meeting coming out of that. So we set that up for a parenting meeting to this very day, 40-some years later.
There's
we
a
still have these
parenting
parenting meetings.
Yep.
But because that's key. You know, so we did that. We had the breakfast program. We got a bus and took these children all the way to African Liberation Day in Washington, D.C.
Wow.
When we marched from Malcolm X Park to the Capitol in support of African Liberation Day.
Nice.
They learned a lot. We even had a group during that time in 1971 called the Sons of Africa, the Daughters of Africa. So we wanted to insert some culture relevance in that development, you know. So what we ended up doing, we had a group called the Sons of Africa, and their little theme was, I pledge my allegiance to Africa, land of my forefathers' birth. I will never give up my birthright to the richest continent on earth. I pledge my allegiance to Africa so that one day she may bring all of her children into the warm comfort of her black bosom, giving us a security and confidence that we have not known for over 400 years. That was a pledge for the Sons of Africa.
Wow.
Then the Daughters of Africa. We had SOA and DOA. All that going on in that little building in 1971. And then we had up the breakfast program and all that. So we gradually evolved and we grew and we began to teach Black History classes and go on marches and protests. That was around the time, too, when Carl Hampton was killed. By the way, today, I think, is the anniversary of the commemoration, rather, of Carl Hampton's birthday. He was a brother who was shot on Dowling Street, People's Party number 2. They shot him down from a preacher's steeple in church, across from Wolf's department store, right across from that church, St. John's Church. They shot him down in the door of his office. That's right. And so that happened. And so we participated in a lot of good things. I even had the first African wedding in Emancipation Park.
Wow.
That's right. Oh, it was hundreds of people there. It was a big old wedding in the park. And it was wonderful because I'd never forget it. It was wonderful, y'all. It was an African wedding. And then subsequent to that, we had other things going on at S.H.A.P.E. The children learned. They had Black History class. They had all kinds of activities, just like you hear in the background now, maybe children talking. They learning some Black history as I talk about them right now.
Round of applause for that.
But just to give you a little taste, after that happened, we were growing. We were expanding. We were developing. And then there was a little lady across the street who lived on Alabama. She was about 69, 70 years old. She did domestic work for somebody in River Oaks. So every day she would get off the bus and get off on Holman Street in Live Oak. And I would send somebody to help her to get her food and get all, when you work for these people in River Oaks, you always bring some leftovers home. Some old clothes, old shoes, leftovers, because, it's survival.
Right.
So we would always have somebody to go and meet her on the corner of Holman Street and Live Oak to help her to carry her things that she had to her house, which was on Alabama, right across from our park, those little row houses. Yeah. And we sent the kids, and we did that for years. The lady died. And when she died, the European lady in River Oaks that she worked for, Paige Williams, called me and said, Mr. Deloyd, Miss Gertie May always talked about S.H.A.P.E. What can we do in our memory? I said, we want to get a building across the street.
Okay.
So
air horn for that.
she ended up giving us $10,000. It was a down payment on the building that we in right now.
Round of applause for that.
And we contributed that to the life of Sister Gertie May, Elder Gertie May.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so as soon as I can get her picture from her great-grandchildren, it's going to go on these walls of the center.
Yeah.
Because this was a domestic worker
Mm-hmm.
who helped give birth to this building.
Wow.
That's right. And so that allowed us to move into this building.
Mm-hmm.
Moving into this building that has a history in and of itself.
Wow.
The grounds that we on right now, 3815 Live Oak, the grounds that this building sits on used to be the grounds of a Jewish synagogue.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So
That's
it's sacred.
Well, it may be sacred to them, but it's liberation to us. Okay.
Round of
The
applause.
bottom line is that they tore it down, and when they tore it down, a lot of the rubbish that came from under it, instead of hauling it off, a lot of it was put next door to this building, buried under the ground.
Oh, wow.
That's right. That's why when we built our park, it took so long for them to build it because they had to excavate it and go under there and get those bricks and rock out. But nevertheless, when they tore it down, a club was put here called the Casa Palace Ballroom. Right in the back of it, the Casa Palace Motel. That was here. So after the Casa Palace Motel, all name some of these blues artists. B.B. King. All of them used to play right here in this same structure.
Oh, wow.
They used to sing and play and gig right here. And after a while, the Casa Palace, after years of existence, the Casa Palace closed down, and then Walker's Ballroom opened up.
Oh, my gosh.
In the same building. After Walker's Ballroom opened up, they lasted for a while. Still bands would come and play and all that kind of stuff. Subsequent to that, it closed down, and they used it as a storage for all kind of game equipment and stuff. So that happened. We looked at this building and said, it looked like a building we could have.
Right.
So we got that $10,000. Timing was right. And we used that as a down payment from this building, and we purchased it from Jacob Eisenbaum, a Jewish guy who owned the land.
Right.
We got the building. After we got the building, it was a big, wide open space. It was a club type looking building.
Right.
Didn't have no rooms here and a room here.
Right.
Had one room in the back where the DJ would play, and a stage in the back. And you know what a big room is?
Yes.
A stage, and that was it.
Wow.
It's open space. Then after a couple of years, we found some old petitions from old bank that had closed down and petitioned it off.
And
So we'd have different
made
rooms.
do.
That's right. It didn't even go all the way to the ceiling.
Oh, wow.
The petitions just went high enough for us to separate it.
Right.
So that happened for a while. We had our programs. We had the first Kwanzaa celebration, the first citywide Kwanzaa celebration.
Nice.
And the city of Houston was right here. I mean, we had one on Sophomore, but that wasn't a huge one. The citywide one was right here in this building.
Wow.
Big open space building. And so we had our Kwanzaa here. We opened the building up. We had our programs. We sectioned it off and had everything in this building.
Right.
And eventually, we said, we got to do better than this. So we set up programs, martial arts. We had dance classes. We had every kind of activities going on here. We had meetings here, town hall meetings. We had meetings organized against police brutality. We had all that going on in this building. I say we still have that going on in this building. We had that. And eventually we were able to get a grant. I call it reparation. Because people say, you mean you got money from the government? Hell no, we got money from the city. That's our tax dollar. That's our money.
Yeah.
We got it.
Right.
We drew the design for the building. By the way, the woman who designed the interior of renovating this building, to gut this building up, gut it out and redesign the interior, her name is Nia Begnell. Veronica Dorian, who grew up in Acres Home.
Oh, my hood.
That's right.
Round of applause.
She grew up there. She was an architect. She designed the interior of this building, conducive to how we wanted it.
Right.
And then when she designed it, what happened, she did it the way S.H.A.P.E. Center is. If you notice that room in the front, in the back,
Yes.
that's a little circular.
Yes.
You notice that room. Every room, you don't see no office, a whole lot of office space.
Right.
Every room is, and it's optional. You can use it for this, you can use it for that.
Right.
Chess room, library. This room, we can use it for anything.
Right.
So we designed it to be all purpose.
Yeah.
You know,
Multifunctional.
That's right. And when she did that, we fixed it up and it's just all kind of stuff. And we started developing programs and activities conducive to the space. And boy, we did it. We started having organizational meetings here. S.H.A.P.E Center is like the United Nations of the hood, y'all.
Okay.
They have all kind of meetings here, press
yeah.
conference here, just all the groups that meet here. Organization, the death penalty abolition movement meets here. Black United Front, right now they're meeting here.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, one of the first Central Committee meetings was held right here. The Comrade Warrell. First Black United Front Central Committee meetings in Houston was held right here at S.H.A.P.E Center.
Oh, my.
Then we had first Kwanzaa celebration. The Diary of Black Men. Thomas Malone's son wrote this play called The Diary of Black Men.
That was my professor
it was
at
done
TSU.
right here at S.H.A.P.E.
Oh, wow.
He also did The Death of O.D. Walker right here at S.H.A.P.E.
All right. Thomas Malone's son. Y'all, that was one of my professors at TSU.
Thomas Malone, who wrote the song, said, "Color me black and I color you blue. Show you what black folk used to do." We started with slavery with the law on our side. We worked in chains until we bit our pride.
I know that's
You know,
right.
I mean, like bullets of a gun may stop my life, but it never stopped the struggle. That's Thomas Malone. Another one saying, 100 years they brought us here on ships. 200 years they beat us down in whips. 300 years Lincoln said we were free, and 400 years, sister, we still in slavery. That was Thomas Malone.
Wow.
He got another one called, when I was little, I asked my grandpa and my grandmother, they sitting on the porch in the country. I said, "Grandma, have you ever been a slave?" My grandmother looked at me in the eye and said, "Ask your grandpa." And when I asked my grandpa, I said, "Grandpa, have you ever been a slave?" My grandpa looked at me and said, "Son, I'm a Christian man. I'm a religious man. I believe in God. So forgive me for using this word. But hell yeah." See, I've been hog-tied, I've been dog-strung, I've been shot down by the sound of a gun, I've been bull-whipped, I've been backstripped, I've been laid down in a sailing ship, sunburned, back scorned, working chains in the early morning and looked at, called black. I've been ran down by a nasty track. And you ask me, is it true? Why, hell yeah. Thomas Malone wrote that song.
Oh, my God.
Thomas Malone. I mean, we march all over the city of Houston singing
Round
those
of applause
songs.
for that.
Yes.
I mean, we'd walk all over. We go to Acres Home, we go to City Gas, we go to Galena Park, protesting, singing those songs. And songs say, 100 years they brought us here on ships. 200 years Lincoln said we were free. 300 years, brothers, we still in slavery.
Oh, wow.
Say something's got to be done about all this slavery, and we ain't gonna wait too long. And then he say the chorus was, "Ain't gonna wait too long. Ain't gonna wait." I mean, that's Tom. He played the guitar with the strings backwards because he was left-handed, so he had to have the strings kind of reversed. He is a legend.
He is.
And I lift him up to this very day. I love that brother because he kept the movement alive with his guitar, with his songs, with the Diary of Black Men, Whatever Happened to Black Love, which is a play that he wrote. He wrote another one called The Death of O.D. Walker. He wrote one called From Africa to Third Water. I mentioned that. He wrote one. And the thing about his songs, they all had messages.
Right.
He had a message music, a message song. And I keep saying had. He's still writing.
You're right. Yeah,
He's still producing.
He is.
He's still doing it. He's doing it from a life-like experience. He did something in my hometown in Port Arthur. So he's always doing something. I know he's been making this about Thomas Malone, but I have to mention that because he's a chapter in the life of S.H.A.P.E that we will never, ever forget. In fact, he was part of the Kumba House Repertory Theater. And S.H.A.P.E kind of like helped give birth to that. And it started right here, and then he was over in Midtown, and he organized that. So Thomas was part of S.H.A.P.E and is part of S.H.A.P.E, and he in Taita. See, y'all would know his wife by Barbara, but I know her for Taita, Taita. And Thomas' name is Mamanifu.
Oh, wow.
Mantu Mamanifu. That was his
wow.
African name. So y'all know him as Professor Malone,
Yeah.
but I know him as Mantu Mamanifu, Thomas Malone. So they were all part of S.H.A.P.E.
Right.
And they still part of S.H.A.P.E. We had a little commemoration of some of his works about a year and a half ago right here at S.H.A.P.E.
Oh, wow.
So, and his students come here. He's always creating stuff. And even before S.H.A.P.E, he had a poetry group. and it was like the last poets. And they performed at Hope Development in Fifth Ward. I have a picture on the wall in there now with Thomas, and they're doing like the last poets type stuff.
Right.
You know, so all that's history that you all need to know about.
And I didn't know about it at all.
I know, because nobody's telling the story.
Right.
You know, but talk to Thomas. Let him know about that. Let him know you want to know the story, because that's part of his history.
Right.
It's part of, and we got to know it. But I just want to share that with you. But S.H.A.P.E Center was part of all of that. A lot of groups that met here. We had, I mentioned Thomas Mlanson, Sudan Arts Southwest, the poets. We had all the meetings, press conferences were held here and still are held here. We have groups that want to meet here to end the death penalty. We said, people say, you against the death penalty? Hell yeah. Why do we kill people who kill people to show that killing people is wrong? That sounds like oxymoronish.
Right.
You
That's
know?
true. When you think about it, that is
so,
true.
And then we said, well, we got to do something. Well, hey, if killing somebody is going to bring closure to your situation, you need to take your medication. I'm serious. So I'm against the death penalty. I'll let you know right now. And so the Death Penalty Abolition Movement meets here. Association of Black Social Workers meet here. They have a group, Positive Black Male Association meets here. But the point is that S.H.A.P.E was born out of all these conditions I mentioned earlier about the Ida Delaney situation, the sister who was killed, the Byron Gillum case, we were shot by HPD office. We had to develop something. And we developed S.H.A.P.E, and we wanted to make sure we were not just an organization that engaged in programs and activities. We had an organization that helped in a movement way.
Right.
I mean, we had to protest and meet. We would meet right here at S.H.A.P.E. They had a protest downtown. They need a bullhorn. Go get the bullhorn from S.H.A.P.E Center.
Right.
Ask Brother Kofi. He'll tell you. Because that's where those bodies, they found all those bodies in that southwest Houston. 95 bodies from you didn't hear about that?
Recently.
Yeah, these are so-called slaves.
Yeah.
People, they say they were bodies of prisoners. That's a joke.
They said they were
that time,
part of
you
the
wasn't no prisoner. You were captive.
Right. They said it was the convict leasing.
Convict.
Yeah.
To be black is a convict in America during that time.
Right.
It's still that way now.
Right.
So these bodies that they found, that was a commemoration, a spiritual thing that took place this past Sunday out there.
Right. I heard about that.
Yeah, and I was on my way out there and my car stopped. I didn't make it, but that's okay. My bullhorn beat me there. And they used the bullhorn, and they had a wonderful experience there. So that kind of like S.H.A.P.E helped give birth to some of these things.
Right.
If somebody want to have a protest, a demonstration, they'll come to S.H.A.P.E because we know the right way to organize it.
Right.
So, and then we just had a protest dealing with this immigration situation downtown near Emancipation Avenue. That was a couple of weeks ago. So we still active. I go protest, but I come in and do something positive beyond that.
Right.
You can raise hell and protest, but if you don't have a program,
then it's pointless.
It's pointless.
Right.
So we do that here. We have, and everybody and their mama meets here. That's progressive.
Right.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, Association of Black Social Workers, Association of Black Psychologists, Death Penalty Abolition Movement.
You also have a legal clinic too, right?
We have legal assistance. Every Saturday you need to meet with an attorney. You come in, you can sit down and talk to the attorney, let him know what your situation is. He'll help you best he can.
Right.
Then you have another group that meets here, Cocaine Anonymous, Alcohol Anonymous. They meet here. You have they meet here twice a week. Then you have Positive Black Male Association. They meet here. You have Table Talk. These are women who need help. And a sister named Sister Kate, she comes here and she'll meet with women and of all complexions to deal with that. And then you have, and we're not hung up on religion. We hung up on spirituality.
Right.
You know, religion divides, spirituality unites.
Right.
So give me one good spirit and I don't care what religion you are.
Right.
And that's where we are right now. So on Sundays you have Lost Foundation of Islam meet over here. You have M.H.A.P.E meet here. You have Philadelphia Church, a Christian church meets at the Alameda building. So all these groups meet here, you know. And then you have Capoeira. Capoeira meets here on Wednesday nights and Sunday evenings.
Right.
And they have a conference coming up pretty soon, a big event coming up right here at this building that we served as the fiscal agent for in the space to have the conference here.
Right.
So we have the great ones from California and other places coming in to engage in that. So we have that meet here. Who else we meet? Golly, we have everybody.
You have everybody.
And that's the way it's supposed to be. That's what a community center
right.
is.
Tell our audience what S.H.A.P.E stands for, because it's an acronym.
Of course it is.
And why you chose the colors red, black, and green.
Okay, well, everybody who's listening to the show already know, but I'm going to tell them just to help them to be able to articulate it. You know, okay.
A round of applause.
Self-help for African people through education. Self-help for African people through education. Say, what you talking about? Ain't no Africa. Hey, brother, civilization started in the East, and whether you want to classify yourself one as or not, we are African people.
Right.
That's just my belief. You know, and whatever shade of black you are.
Yeah.
It goes, you know, you are a shade of black.
Right.
You know? So self-help for African people through education. And you can see self-help for all people through education because all of us derive from that, from the motherland.
Right.
All of us came. But nevertheless, that's what the S.H.A.P.E stands for. And then you asked me something else.
The colors red, green,
red, black,
and black.
and green. Well, you know what that means. You know,
red for the blood.
That's our liberation colors.
Red for the blood, black for the people, and green for the land.
All praise to Marcus Messiah Garvey.
Yes.
You know.
Shouts to him.
All praise. And his
Rest in
birthday
peace
is coming
to him.
up.
Yeah.
His birthday.
Are we having a celebration here for Marcus Garvey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's another thing that's happening. And then day after tomorrow, we're going to commemorate the life of Linwood Johnson.
Right.
Who's a brother who was an activist in Freedmanstown, Allen Parkway, who fought, stood up, and really gave most of his adult life to liberation of Allen Parkway. Had it not been for him, Allen Parkway would probably be closed down right now. But he stood up, and one of my friends, wonderful woman, her name is Alvia, not Alvia, her sister, Joy Fitzgerald. She used to be work with the Housing Authority here in Houston. And when she was at the Housing Authority, you know, she worked, it was her job.
Right.
You know, she had to work.
Right.
And work, you know, it was a plantation job, but it was a job. It was a job.
Yeah.
But I love her. She struggled with Linwood because Linwood was living in Allen Parkway.
Right.
And she was over the Housing Authority. So they kind of tried to work with each other because she was black and she knew there was some truth to the way it was coming, a lot of truth. And they worked, and he's black and she black, and they struggled. He gave her purity hell. But guess what? She understood where he was coming from.
Right.
And he understood that she was black and she had a job.
Yeah.
So they worked together. They fought, they worked, they fought, they worked. But guess what? She ended up taking a position in Atlanta, I think it is, and at the Housing Authority there. And she was there. She moved. And she's in town this week. She's in town. And she's coming to the events.
Nice. Good.
Okay, round of applause for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Her father was a math professor at TSU. He's a math department at TSU. And he's one of the elders at S.H.A.P.E.
Right.
And her sister is over the Mickey Leland
School of Business.
No, the
that's the
museum.
Jesse. Oh.
Alvia.
Okay.
Alvia Waterlaw.
Okay.
Yeah, she's over there. So we got everybody and everything that's of some worth and value comes through these doors.
Right.
And I'm not saying this boastfully. I'm just saying this truthfully.
Yeah.
You know, and we living and working. And I want to clarify something, too, because this is something that people always get confused about. S.H.A.P.E. is not Deloyd Parker. I couldn't do one iota of what we're doing at S.H.A.P.E. without the people. S.H.A.P.E. is a collective
Right.
of people, of spirit, of finances, of all that. It's a collective.
Right.
And I thank all of the people out there who contribute to making S.H.A.P.E. what it is today. I'll put it like this. If for some reason, not for some reason, when the Creator decides to swoop me up, and when I leave here, if S.H.A.P.E. dies, that means I didn't do it. What I did was not worth it.
Right.
So right now, our work, you got to get that telephone. It's legal.
This has never.
It's all good. It's all good. That's how I get.
That's good. That
We're
lets me
finna
know
go
something.
live soon, y'all. So y'all make sure that y'all ready for that. We finna go live soon.
Yeah.
Keep going, brother. Keep going.
With S.H.A.P.E. we want to make sure that when Deloyd Parker, when the Creator decides to swoop me up, whatever happens, because I'm not going to live forever. When that happens, that S.H.A.P.E. continues.
Yeah.
Because to invest 49 or 50 years in an institution, because this the 19th of 2019 will make 50 years.
Oh my God.
If this center does not sustain itself, or if there's not a sustainability plan, if this center leaves when Deloyd Parker checks out, then I would have failed in what I've attempted to do in terms of the role that I play.
Right.
So I don't want that to happen. So I'm encouraging the community to join with us to keep S.H.A.P.E. Community Center alive, keep it strong, keep it vibrant, keep it productive, and keep the vision.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing, the vision. because we want a shared vision. And there are people, volunteers. 97% of our staff are volunteers.
That's big.
That's huge.
97% of our staff are volunteers.
Yeah.
Every Saturday we do a volunteer orientation. And there are about 20 to 30 people that sit in that orientation to volunteer.
Wow.
And so that's the lifeblood of the institution.
Yeah.
So I want to share with the audience today that we need you. We need a collective to make S.H.A.P.E Center an ongoing. I'm tired of hearing legendary this or legendary this. Oh, S.H.A.P.E was or not. This was. Boy, that used to be. I don't want to hear that used to be. We want to have a continuum.
Right.
We want S.H.A.P.E Center to live forever and a day.
Right.
And the best way for it to live is live through the people.
Right.
Not through the person. Because the person is going to die.
Now, see,
but the people will always be here.
I actually heard Dr. Umar that was saying, we have this complex where we'll have one person to lead something. And then, of course, like you said, people pass on. So once they pass, whatever they was doing tend to pass with them.
And we got to get out of this.
Right.
And part of that is it has to do with egos.
Right.
Facts.
And, that part has to do with, I'm serious.
Facts.
We have to recognize that the Lord, that's why to this very day, I don't accept any awards. Okay? It'd be foolish. I don't accept any awards, and I will not accept any awards.
Oh, wow.
Because, and people constantly try to give me an award. For what? Hell, I didn't do this by myself.
Right.
So one lady wanted to give us an award. A lot of people wanted to give me an award. Mickey Leland humanitarian award.
Right.
The Alma, what's her name? The singer.
I'm not familiar with her.
Yes, you are.
Who?
The gospel singer.
Oh, Yolanda Adams.
Yolanda Adams.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yolanda, I'm sorry. I couldn't remember your name, but a little dementia kicks in every now and then. But,
don't speak that,
but they
man.
wanted. No, you're right. I don't want to speak.
Yeah,
that.
don't speak
but
that,
the
man.
bottom line is that they called me, or they had somebody call me. They wanted to give Deloyd Parker an award for this and why. I said, look, if you give S.H.A.P.E Center, I said, give it to S.H.A.P.E. I'm not looking for a job.
Right.
I'm okay where I am. So I don't need that on my resume. Give it to S.H.A.P.E. And when you give it to S.H.A.P.E, send me enough tickets to go to the award for my staff and everybody who's part. So that's what they did. Mickey Leland Award, they sent me, they took them a couple of weeks to decide to do it.
Right.
Because, people want to give you stuff, but they're doing it for themselves, not for the institution.
Right.
Too often.
Right.
So they want to give it to the
They do it for the looks.
Yeah, for the look. Oh, let's use Deloyd Parker. Don't use. I said, no. But they finally decided to do it, give it to S.H.A.P.E. And then when they gave it to me, Al Green was there. He presented. I said, I'll accept it on behalf of S.H.A.P.E.
Yeah.
But when I accept it, I want all those people in the audience from S.H.A.P.E to stand up.
Yeah.
And they did. So on behalf of all these people you see here, and many of them who are not able to be here, because y'all wouldn't give us enough tickets, we accept this. And they gave it to us. And that's the truth.
Right.
It's not the individual, it's the collective. Same thing with Alma.
Yolanda Adams.
Yolanda Adams. I keep saying that. Yeah, don't laugh.
I ain't laughing.
With Sister Yolanda. I have a picture on the wall in there where she presented the award. And she gave it to us. And then Zinga, Rita, she agreed to do it. And they gave it to us. And I had all the people to stand up. And it wasn't just the people they gave tickets to. A lot of people were just at the event, stood up. And so those people involved in helping make S.H.A.P.E Center where they'll stand up. And then a whole lot of people stood up.
Wow.
See, that's who the award is for.
Yeah.
And many who are not here. See, we have to be real about it. Right. If we want people to feel good about what they're doing. And you have to recognize and let the world know they're part of this success.
Right.
It ain't nothing superficial. That's not nothing, false humility. That's the fact.
Right. It's acknowledgement. It's validation.
And we have to know that people say, oh, Deloyd, you so humble. That's crap. I'm just truthful.
Yeah.
And that's the truth.
Yeah.
Right.
So the bottom line, as we grew, as we evolved, and we still growing and evolving, and and I have a call out right now for black men. You need to show up.
Yeah, you did say
black
that.
men show up because the majority of our volunteers at S.H.A.P.E are sisters.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not putting sisters down there doing a fantastic job. But we have a shortage of black men involved in S.H.A.P.E.
Right.
Just to interrupt you right quick, Brother Deloyd, my lodge, we actually volunteered maybe say a month and a half ago to clean. Is that little location to the right side of the building, is that a part of the location here?
We had third ward cleanup campaign.
Yeah, that's what we were out there picking up trash in the neighborhood.
Yeah, we sponsored that, but there were people coming from all over the country, over 1,000 people. People of lighter complexions that came. But that's okay. They can come to clean up. That's part of reparation too.
Yeah.
You know? But they came and they helped clean up.
Right.
And no disrespect, but sometimes you have to come back and clean up what you caused to happen to begin with. And I'm not suggesting that we don't need to be held accountable, but we have to recognize that our condition that many of us in didn't
happen overnight.
And not through osmosis.
Right.
Yeah.
It was real. It happened.
Sure.
And that was a condition.
Yeah.
That's why I tell people all the time, much of what we do to ourselves has a lot to do with how we feel about ourselves. And how we feel about ourselves, it starts with how much we taught about ourselves.
Right.
And we taught that we're worthless. And we taught that we don't have a history. We taught that we didn't create nothing. If the only black history we know is black facts and not black history,
right?
Like Rosa Parks did this, Martin Luther King did that. That's not black history. Those are black facts.
Right.
Black history is a life of a people, the story of a people.
Right.
And we're not taught that story
at all.
Then all we go believe is every year you can see the same pictures going up. Rosa Parks over here, Denmark BC over here, Malcolm X.
Marcus
Garvey. You see the individuals.
Yeah. Right.
You won't hear the story.
Right.
Black history is a story of a people.
Yeah.
Of our people. And like I was saying the other day, and that story cannot be told just about us, because we didn't come here on the Mayflower.
Right.
There's certain conditions that got us here.
Right.
Yeah.
And certain people that brought us here.
Yeah.
Right.
So we have to tell the whole story.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what we do. That's part of what we about. Y'all, I know the time is closing up, but the bottom line, y'all, is that S.H.A.P.E Center, we want to be here. And we want to be calling these brothers out here to join us and find a role for you to play. Not just S.H.A.P.E. I'm calling on behalf of S.H.A.P.E, but I'm talking about for any institution that's doing something worthwhile. Get involved.
Yeah.
Get involved in those institutions. You have the local organizing committee of the Million Man March. They meet here every Thursday night. Get involved with the local organizing committee of the Million Man March, who meets here at S.H.A.P.E Center every Thursday at 7 o'clock. If you want to be involved in Capoeira, you want to any activity, get involved in something that's meaningful to you and the community, so we can strengthen our community and have a strong community. Don't just be like some of those folk who go out there and protest and raise hell, and then and run home and look at yourself on the tube.
Right.
And say, yeah, that's me. That's me. Well, strange enough, that's what a lot of us used to do in the 60s.
Wow. So nothing has really changed in that aspect. And now something that you said earlier actually really resonated with me, because recently in the news there was a little boy that was delivering newspaper, and somebody called the police on him. And that could have turned out deadly. But you mentioned earlier about somebody trying to deliver newspaper and gotten killed here in Houston.
That happened. Actually, this was a black woman, a grandmother, delivering out of Delaney, delivering newspapers late one night, working on taking care of her grandchildren, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and 2 off-duty police officers left the cantina, the bar, off-duty now, ran her off the highway.
Wow.
And ended up killing the sister. She defended herself. She stopped, and because she had a gun to carry.
Yeah.
But when they ran her off the highway, she didn't know who they were.
Right.
And she was out there defending herself, and they shot this sister. Now, the sad thing about it, we protested. We went to jail. We protested. We went to a place called Dallas, Texas, for the trial for those police officers. And we packed that courtroom, because we knew that if we didn't pack that courtroom, they were going to be acquitted.
Right.
So we had to make sure, because when the KKK operates, they operate with hoods on.
Yeah.
So you won't know who they are.
Right.
The judges, when they operate, they want to change the venue, so the people who know what the conditions were like won't be there to pack that courthouse.
Right.
So they had to change the venue to Dallas, Texas. But they didn't realize that we were going to get buses and go to Dallas, Texas.
And y'all did it.
We did. We packed that courtroom. And in packing that courtroom, they were convicted.
Right.
Because the judge who was over the trial was a judge that I know was not going to be supportive of justice.
Right. Oh,
his name was Judge Ted Poe.
Wow.
Yes. The one who was a congressman.
Yes.
He was a judge at the time.
Oh, wow.
So we packed that courtroom, and guess what? They were convicted. But unfortunately, the same laws have different punishment. In other words, when a police officer does something to you, it's official oppression.
Right.
When you do something to them, it's assault on a public servant. The latter is a felony.
Right.
The first one is a misdemeanor. So even though they were convicted, all they did was spank them on the hand, and they lost their job.
Wow.
They didn't get no time. So, but at least they got that. Had we not gone there, they would not have gotten that.
And they would have still had that job.
That's right. And that's just so many things that S.H.A.P.E was involved in. The Clarence Brantley case, the brother was on death row. Given 5 days before they would give him a legal injection. We raised hell, protested, demonstrated, and met until his brother was out of jail.
Wow.
That's right. We got an evidentiary hearing.
Round of applause for that.
Yes.
Yeah. 5 days before they would give, we fought, we protested, we even put cow manure on the steps of the governor's mansion. Because that's what we thought about Texas justice.
Right.
It wasn't work. Bush,
Yeah.
And we had T-shirts saying "Free Clarence Brantley." We had a no thanks Thanksgiving right here in this building.
No thanks. Thanksgiving.
That's right, with
I love
empty
it.
plates in front of us.
Yeah.
We did everything creatively because we didn't have no money.
Right.
We had an old yellow bus that we got, and we went to the malls and passed out flyers and everything.
Right.
And that brother is a free man right now.
Good.
On our 45th anniversary, he was there.
Oh, wow.
But doing 9 years in prison for something he didn't do. That was right here in Conroe, Texas. He was accused of rape and murder of a Conroe High School cheerleader. But they framed him. But we were able to get him out. And guess what? In their efforts to frame him, the evidence that would have convicted the true murderers was lost. So to this day, nobody was held accountable for the murder and the rape
Oh, my
of
God.
the cheerleader. So I'm just sharing with you. There's so much stuff happening and so many things happen. But coming to this year, our 50th anniversary is coming up, and they have a committee that's working to help put that together. And I'm a worker, so I'm out here doing stuff what I do at S.H.A.P.E every day.
Right.
And there's a committee that's doing that, and we leave them alone, let them do that. Whatever they want from me, I'll do it. But
Right.
I'm a worker.
Do we have your blessings to be here on the 50th anniversary? Do a podcast here?
Hey, whatever you all want. This is you
That's a
progressive.
bet.
You
Houston,
progressive
Texas.
media. Progressive media I can deal with.
Oh, yeah.
The other stuff, the propaganda media.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That ain't us. That
No.
ain't
But
us.
we are here at S.H.A.P.E Center 3815 Live Oak. We have two buildings. 3815 Live Oak is the heart of S.H.A.P.E. That's why you see over 10,000 pictures on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
These
pictures
pictures.
reflect our 50
Y'all
years.
story in the
That's
history.
our story. And Clarence Brantley's mother, before he was trial,
Exonerated.
she died after he was freed.
She wants to make sure her baby was free.
That's right.
I know that's
And
right.
her picture's on the wall in there, and Clarence Brantley's picture's on the wall. His brother has a book out that you'll be hearing more about. I'll let
Right.
you, and it's about the Clarence Brantley story.
Wow.
So a lot of stuff is going on at S.H.A.P.E. I didn't mention the fact that we have several restaurants at S.H.A.P.E Center.
No, you didn't.
We have on Mondays we have Caribbean food.
Okay.
That's Bernie's. On Wednesdays we have Susie's,
Okay.
and that's Sister S.H.A.P.E, and she has everything from jerk chicken to. But you got to be able to do the jerk when you eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's from Guyana, right?
She's from Guyana, South America.
South America.
And then next, she's there on Wednesdays and
Thursday.
Thursdays. And then on Fridays, we have Nedra, and she's there on Saturdays also. She has brunch and lunch. And then on Sundays, we have Creole food.
Okay.
So every day,
That too
there's
fast.
somebody. And on Tuesday
I
and Thursdays,
love that
I
too
cook
fast,
for the
man.
elders.
Okay.
Tuesday and Thursdays,
Takar was telling me about that.
Yeah,
T.
every
Miller
Tuesday
was
and
telling me
Thursdays,
about that.
the elders, that's one thing. How did I leave that out? The Elders Institute of Wisdom meet at S.H.A.P.E Community Center every Tuesday and Thursday. They meet, they exercise, they talk, they dialogue, they interact, they write letters. They even went down. They were instrumental in having Dowling Street changed to Emancipation
'cause that was-
Avenue.
okay.
Because they
Okay.
went down there to the Planning Commission and
Okay.
they spoke. And the Planning Commission voted unanimously. Then they went to City Council. City Council procrastinated for a while, but eventually they voted. So it became Emancipation Avenue. The elders were instrumental in doing that.
Wonderful.
And then the elders, when they finished exercising, meeting, mentoring a child, talking, doing whatever they do, then they go in the restaurant and I cook a 3-course vegetarian meal for them every Tuesday and Thursday. So that happens. We have an after-school program, a summer youth program. We have a freedom tour where we take the children across the South, retracing the civil rights movement. We've been doing that for 29 years. To go where Martin Luther King was killed at, where Medgar Evers was assassinated at. To go we march across the Edmund Pettus Bridge where Bloody Sunday took place, where Emmett Till was killed in Money, Mississippi. We go to where we just traveled all over the South, where the Polo Girls were killed in
Birmingham,
Alabama, and the 16th Street Baptist Church. But King preached at Dexter Avenue Baptist Church, Rosa Parks Museum in Montgomery, Alabama. We traveled all over the South and just learn. We have a journal. We have a documentary. We look at a documentary. We look at on the bus. We've been doing that for 29 years. When those children get back, they'll never be the same.
Yeah.
So we've been doing that for 29 years.
Yeah.
And we're going again. We do it during spring break to get grade credit for it in their schools.
Oh.
You know.
Oh, wow.
So we do that. We have, oh, God. We have so much stuff going on.
They do a lot.
And let me suggest this. S.H.A.P.E Center cannot do everything. So we facilitate whatever it is that we cannot do.
Yeah.
Like if you want to do something and it's consistent with our vision of family strengthening and empowerment, come on. If we have a space, the room, the time, you can do it.
Right.
You know, we have weddings at S.H.A.P.E Center at the Alameda building. We have weddings over there. We have repasts over there. We have baby showers over there. We have, right now, NBUF meets over there every Monday. We have, exercise class. We have yoga classes over there one night. We have another brother that does another a camp, an exercise camp. I forgot what you call it. But check our website. Every 3 days a week, we have those activities over there.
What's your website?
Website, shape@shape.org. Shape@shape.org. And if you want to email me, curse me out or say anything you want to say, you can call me at dtparker@shape.org. dtparker@shape.org. I don't mind you cursing me out. At least I know how you feel. And that's important to know how people feel. If I'm screwing up, you let me know and I'll try to fix it, take care of it.
Yeah.
So, and but I want to emphasize this. S.H.A.P.E is a collective of people, the staff, the volunteers. And please hear that. That's not no humility that's kicking in. That's the truth that's kicking in. Please hear that. Because we need people to know that we need each other. That's why we say that I am because we are. We are, therefore I am. There's no me without you, and there's no you without me. Because we're all part of a family, part of a S.H.A.P.E family of interdependence. We need each other, and we need each other now. And we embrace the 7 principles of Kwanzaa, and that's what we function under. Unity, self-determination, collective work and responsibility, cooperative economics, purpose, creativity, and F-A-I-T-H, faith. That's the foundation of S.H.A.P.E. And that's what we ride on. That's our foundation. And, of course, we want to let you know, and I will close on this. I won't say any more. The children have a pledge. They say, as a child, I will listen to learn. I will look to learn. I will think to learn. I will follow the rules and act appropriately for myself, for my family, and for my community. And the parents have a pledge. They say, as a parent, I believe in the ancient African proverb that it takes an entire village to raise a child. I will listen to the children. I will nurture the children. I will teach and model appropriate behavior for myself, for my family, and for my community. That's what we do every day. When the children come in the morning, that's what they say. When the parents meet, they say the parents' pledge. So we do this, and we practice this, y'all. Like the food co-op that we have, that's cooperative economics. That's collective work and responsibility. No one person could afford. No one person could do everything, but together everything could get done.
Right.
And that's where we are. I'm stopping.
Well, let me wrap that up with this quote: "Without a sense of caring, there can be no sense of community," by Anthony J. D'Angelo.
Sounds good to me.
Songs of the week. So you want to explain it to him, right?
So
quick.
the songs of the week is maybe a song or something that you really, really loved, you like, you could have just recently heard it, or just your favorite song. What's a song that you want to put out there for people to possibly listen to?
Well, there's one as you're going to be hearing online pretty soon. And my daughter-in-law and my son, both are producers and writers and singers and all that. They live in Australia. They're going to be putting out a song. They got one already out, and it's called Life, L-I-F-E. To hear it, you can go to the website, and look for Mirrah, 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 AU for Australia.
Mm-hmm.
You can look at it. You know, you find it on YouTube, her tube, his tube, my tube, her tube, but you can find that song. That's the one they already put out.
Okay.
But there's another one that's coming out called to accentuate or to strengthen that one. and if one is called life, what do you need to do with life? You need to do what? In order to appreciate life, you have to what?
You have to live.
You have to love life.
Love. Okay.
Love. Okay.
That's
We
even
said
better.
That next song is called Love.
Okay.
And it's going to be coming out. And you'll be hearing the debut of Elder Jean Wilkins Denver, because she's going to be on that song.
Nice. I can't wait to hear that.
That's coming out pretty soon.
that.
You maybe get it online and YouTube and all that other kind of stuff. I don't know about all that, but you'll be able to get it. But her name is Mirrah, Mirrah, Mirrah Parker. That's my son's last name. And my son's name is Kambui. And his name on that thing is called Zig, Z-I-G. You know, but they both live in Australia, so you want to hook them up. Just look for Zig, A-U, or Mirrah, A-U.
Okay.
Mirrah and Zig, A-U.
Okay.
And you'll be able to check them out
Nice.
in Australia. And they are wonderful people. They are,
I bet.
boy, he and she are been married 18 years.
Oh, wow.
18 years, and they are wonderful.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, so.
There's actually pictures of their
Yeah.
ceremony on the wall,
Yeah.
and every time I see it, I'm like, she is so pretty.
Yeah, she got married right here.
And for mine, T. Melly, I'm going to do Nas Simple Things, and I'm going to do the Carters off the Everything Is Love album, 713 for the city.
All right.
H-Town stand down.
H-Town.
That's all right.
I'm still stuck on Daniel Caesar.
Okay.
I'm absolutely in love with his song. Who would have thought I'd get you?
Yeah.
I'm so feeling that. Like he's so melodic. But anyway, that song, and then I just came across a new song thanks to Grant. It's called Queen. Her name is Queen Naija, and the name of the song is Medicine.
Okay.
Queen Naija. Where does she live?
I have no idea.
Queen Naija?
Naija.
Naija?
Uh-huh.
Well, there's a Naija that's going to be that's going to have an event. She used to rehearse at S.H.A.P.E Center, and she's a singer. And she performed at the Pan African
light-skinned?
Festival. She's light-skinned. She has a Muslim flair to her.
It might be the
she
same.
wears
It might
a-
be the same person.
It
I
might
just
be.
saw her on
She wears a
internet
little-
today.
Yeah.
I heard that record though.
Yeah.
I heard it last week on
But you know, I wonder.
on
She called this
SXM
Naija called me last
46.
night to ask a favor of me to have. Oh, she want to produce, do a production at the Alameda Building.
Oh wow!
Of a
It
young
might be
artist.
the same person.
Might be.
Because he knows everybody.
It might be. It might be.
But and even if it's not, you might want to at some point connect with her.
Right.
And everybody at the nation, Muslim 45, knows her
Right.
because she's progressive. Her music is clean.
Mm.
It's good music.
Wow.
It's sound music.
Yeah.
It's melodious music.
Yeah.
Like I say, the melodious sounds of Naija.
Yeah.
You're Naija. So let me stop. We just talking like we on the airwaves, you know.
Well, let me say one more thing
Go
before we
ahead.
close out. Brother Deloyd mentioned Allen Parkway. So as we know, that used to be 4th Ward. That was Freemanstown. That was one of the first towns that was constructed by some of our ancestors. And that was going pretty strong until gentrification happened, redevelopment, these rezoning districts and all of that type of thing. Right now, the S.H.A.P.E Community Center is located in 3rd Ward. And so right now there's gentrification that is going on. Houses are getting torn down, rebuilt. I actually tried to move over here.
Yeah, we're trying too.
And they have gouged the prices to kind of deter a lot of us from moving over here. So the house that we wanted was like $450,000. So that was way above what we needed to be paying. But I will say this, the S.H.A.P.E Community Center, it's gonna thrive, but it cannot thrive without participation, whether you volunteer, whether you donate. A lot of people I know are looking for reputable, trustworthy organizations to donate to. This would be ideal.
Sister, could you
Third Ward.
change that word?
Okay.
Not donate.
Invest in.
Invest. Okay.
That's
okay.
a-
I
that's
figured we were
better.
talking
I know
about
that's
that.
what you mean in your
Right.
heart.
Yeah.
You know,
But
that's
yeah.
right.
That English language, we need to invest.
You know what?
in
That's
it.
absolutely right, because an investment, there's a return, and
Yeah.
S.H.A.P.E definitely does give a return. My son has been going here. He is
I love
9
him.
years old now.
I
So
love him.
Shouts to Talib, man.
Yeah.
Talib Foster. What up, baby?
Yeah, he's
He's bright, man.
He spoke in the
Beautiful
elders
kid.
meeting this morning.
Did he?
Yes, he did. He always ready to get up there and speak, and we have to make sure that he opens his mouth when he get up there.
Yeah.
Sometimes he get up there, his mind is running. It's speeding.
Air horn.
You get that microphone, and he freezes sometimes.
Yeah.
Today he didn't freeze.
Good.
Yeah.
You said it. But I want you said something about gentrification and all that kind of stuff. The bottom line to that, in Freedmanstown, we still call it Freedmanstown.
Yeah.
It's still Fort Ward, Freedmanstown. You call it Allen Parkway, Allen Park.
But the new name, what they've called it, so you recognize it as Midtown.
Yeah,
Midtown.
but we need to call it what we call,
That's our name, Freedmanstown.
There's a lady. Her name is Lucinda Campbell.
Yes.
Oh, I love her. And she said before she let her space go, it'll be over her dead body. Lucinda Campbell was an activist in that community. She owned a house right down from the school, Gregory Lincoln, and her family still they still have the house.
Good.
2 years ago, a year and a half ago, I took children on a freedom tour, a local freedom tour.
Yeah.
We stopped by the house, and children went inside the house, and she was lying down in the bed. She was considered hospice, and the children kissed her, and she was still there. I have not heard anything yet about her leaving here.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So she very well may still be
With us.
Okay.
But she fought, and her picture's on the wall in there now, and she fought. So we lift up the spirit and the life and the work
Right.
of Sister Elder Lucinda Campbell.
That's beautiful.
Because she is a fighter.
Yeah.
Even when she leaves here, the fight will continue.
Right. Absolutely. Because her energy, she put so much energy into it, and so I remember that they actually put this on the news where they were trying to. So our ancestors actually paved the roads with bricks, and so they were trying to take those bricks out. And she was one of the people that said, "No, I mean this is what we did." So.
That's right.
My lords, before we moved over to H.B. Turner, we used to meet over there, and they do still have that brick over there in the 440.
Yeah, they still got.
It's really nice.
I got a call from somebody one day about them taking the bricks out, and I ran over there, drove over there, and Sylvester was out of town at the time in Mexico.
Yeah.
So we called him, and they
Right.
Bling Gladys and others, they halted the digging of the bricks.
Right.
And they lost some in the process.
Yeah.
So I got one when they replaced them back in there like they're supposed to be. I got one in my office right now.
Right.
That's not going nowhere, but back to Freedmanstown.
Yeah.
Because it was, and they saved some of the bricks. Gladys and others put some in the house that they dug up. So we still waiting on them to get it back together.
Right.
But Freedmanstown is still Freedmanstown, and it need to be that as long. It's only going to be that when we keep claiming it and calling it that.
Right.
So we need to always refer to it as Freedmanstown.
Right.
Because what happened there is history, and history is history.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't erase it.
Right.
You can try to white it out.
Yeah.
But you can't erase it. As long as we're here to.
Yeah, and even when you white it out, we know what's under that white out. So anyway, look, I enjoyed being on. Thank you.
We enjoyed you being on here, man.
Good.
We enjoyed you being on here. Well, Houston, Texas, make sure that you tune in to this episode on the website, www.visionarymovements.com, under the podcast tab. Episode number 14, T.
14.
We're growing. Today is Thursday, July the 26th, 2018, man. Houston, Texas, we love y'all, and be blessed.
Yo, it feel like 95. S.H.A.P.E on my body. Biggie, jigger, puffy, all that ballin' is a hobby. And I'm wildin' in my wallies. And them valleys, no Pilates. More way, get you more wet. Nah, that's these Spumante. My crystal ball, I see crystal. I crystal y'all with that. I saw the sign like Ace of Spades. That Ace of Spades get cracked me like cheers to the money guys. The Willie niggas who buy them bottles. And then they spill these liquors. Yo, salute my dude. I see you, dawg. 5 bottles, 1 dick. Why I need 2 bras? I know I'm out of line, but love is shower time. You know it rose rain when your cloud is 9. get off that high ass hussy. This a private party. Been on my dick too long. Your breath on private party. You gon' be